What is happening, everyone? The Football Therapist here with another great video, this time on Miles Sanders, a guy I feel that could be a value grab going into the 2021 season. Let's hit that intro. Now, going into the 2020 season, if you guys have been following me, I was not as high on Miles Sanders as a lot of other people. Mostly in part because I questioned the usage that he would get going into the 2020 season. Now, while there were some weeks he was used almost 90% of the time on the snaps and was getting numerous touches, there were other weeks where he wasn't really on the field. And I kind of broke it down for you guys up in this box right here. So if we look at weeks 2 to 5, he missed week 1 with an injury. We see that he was the RB10 in PPR leagues. He was averaging about 56 snaps and he was getting 15.5 attempts per game. He also was doing really well with his targets. As we see in this box over here, he was 12th in targets per game. Now, during this week, we saw a really high snap usage for Miles Sanders. It almost looked like he could be that RB1 that everyone was hoping for. Well, he got injured and he missed a couple of weeks. Coming off of that injury, we see that his snap count and his attempts dipped dramatically. In fact, during weeks 10 to 13, for whatever reason, the Eagles just weren't using Miles Sanders like they were at the beginning of the year. He was only averaging 41 snaps per game, and he was only averaging 11.75 attempts per game. This led to him being the RB 33 in PPR leagues, one spot lower than his fellow running back, Boston Scott. To me, I don't know why this dip was so dramatic. He was looking really good early in the year. Perhaps he was still having the lingering effects of that injury, but I mostly put it towards the coaching staff not using him effectively. Then we saw, obviously, in weeks 13 through 16, Jalen Hurts was the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles to finish the season. Now, that week 13 performance, I lumped into that second category. But if we look at his week 14 through 16 performance, that is Miles Sanders, we see again his snap usage go up dramatically. And again, I don't know what their logic was here. Perhaps they finally realized we have to get this guy in the field. But he was averaging 61 snaps per game during that stretch. He was averaging 15.3 attempts. And he was the RB7 for that 3-week fantasy football playoff stretch. And that is just amazing. Now, if we look at that small sample with Jalen Hurts, we get really excited about that. And now that we see that Doug Peterson is gone, hopefully the next coaching staff will realize that this guy has what it takes to be a workhorse running back. Going into 2021, I'm going to be a little bit more higher on Miles Sanders also, because there's not that risk of a first-round pick for his ADP. Most likely, he'll probably land somewhere around the second, third round turn. Right now on Fantasy Calculator, he's the 3.10. I think that'll be a little bit too low, but in several mock drafts that I've done, I've seen him go anywhere from the start of the third round to mid-third round, and that's where I get excited. I could not get excited when he was being taken as the 1.10, mostly because of this usage right here, that 10 to 13 week sample, which I was kind of concerned about. And again, he did show flashes of greatness. He had several weeks as a top 5 running back, but he also had several weeks where he barely scored your team any fantasy points. Now, of course, going into 2021, not only will the coaching staff be huge for this guy, but also the quarterback play. Carson Wentz is still there, but he probably will demand a trade. I don't know if the team will give it to him. But also, if Jalen Hurts gets the snap, if Jalen Hurts starts at quarterback, I expect them to use Miles Sanders like they did in weeks 14 through 16, and that gets me excited. This guy has top 10 to 12 value baked into the third round. So again, let me know what you think about Miles Sanders, what you think about this breakdown, and will he be better off in 2020?